Hey yo, welcome back Cardmarket people, you're back with me Hot Choc, and today in the build up to Evolving Skies coming out, oh yes baby, we're looking at the top 6 times Eeveelutions cards were really good. Let's have a look. Before we get started, don't forget about the giveaway. If you want to win 3 plaque blisters, so 6 packs in total plus the 2 promos, leave Flareon in the comments, you will be entered. I'm crossing my fingers for you that you win, okay? So remember, leave the comment Flareon to enter the giveaway. Right, so starting off with our number 6 slot, we have Sylveon GX. Sylveon GX was an absolute terror as soon as it got printed, mostly for its magical ribbon attack. For 1 energy, you can search your deck for 3 cards and put them in your hand. This served 2 functions. The first one was to help you set up your deck. So this seen a lot of play with this Gardevoir. And what you'd do, you'd hopefully lead your Eevee with the energy evolution, turn 1 going second, attach your fairy energy, evolve up, and then magical ribbon for 3 cards. So it'd be stuff like rare candy, Gardevoir, and like a DCE, or like a rare candy, Professor's Research, all that good stuff, and just let you just discard your hand, draw 7, and essentially get set up really fast. This was an absolute terror with Gardevoir. But not only that, it was also its own standalone deck, but it was very different to Gardevoir. That deck would rarely even do damage. It was like a disruption deck, where you play stuff like Flare Grunts, Lucamines, Hammers, all kinds of absolute bonkers stuff just to try and stop your opponent from taking prizes and just try and deck them out. Or sometimes what you would do is run them out of all their resources and then start using Fairy Wind, which for 1 Fairy double curlers at 110, you just start 2-shotting everything. Not only that though, the GX attack was actually pretty unique at the time, and still would be if it was printed now in standard, where you could basically get 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, put them back into your hand. Well, their hand I should say. That's really cool, because if they've got like multiple stage 2s out like Metagross GX, you could just put them back to the hand and not have to worry about them. Your opponent's already used their rare candy, so they ain't getting them set up anytime soon. So yeah, that's Sylveon GX, an absolute terror of a card in its day. Coming in at number 5 slot, I had to sort of cheat a little bit, but we've got Umbreon and Darkrai GX. Now, this still counts as an Umbreon card, so let me have this one. This card is absolutely bonkers. Ever since it's been printed, it's been part of the Dark Box core that revolves around Weavile letting you move around energies, Tyranitar for potentially taking up trades, Zoroark Greninja for just doing a lot of ramp damage. But let's be honest, anyone that knows this deck knows it really revolves around Umbreon Darkrai. Because for that Dark Moon GX attack, if you have 6 energy attached in total, your opponent can't play any trainer cards from their hand during next turn. But not only that, you auto KO what's in there active. That is pretty gnarly. Regardless how much HP they got, regardless of a VMAX or a tag team, they are just auto KO. So you essentially get 3 prizes always using this attack before effect, and you stop them playing trainers. So what this Dark Moon essentially reads is, if you do this attack, you win. It's very rare that you get off a Dark Moon for full effect and you don't win the game. It also got piloted to a top 16 finish, and ever since it's been printed, it's always stayed relevant. Now relying on a Balboa Bryson Man engine to sort of get set up and use red and blues to get those energies into play really fast. A fantastic card, a fantastic terror, and I think it's worthy of our number 5 slot, baby. Jeez. Right, so coming in at number 4 slot, we have quite an old card, but it's actually rather strong at the time. We have Flareon EX from EX Delta Species. Now, this played very similar to this Ninetales Amoonguss deck, which is still actually quite old. So when you evolve the Flareon EX, you can leave your opponent's active burnt and confused. So that's pretty cool, you know, getting some extra damage in and making them flip for attacks. When it was paired with Ariados from Unseen Forces, you could use that reactive poison attack, which basically meant 10 plus 30 for each special condition on your opponent's active Pokemon. So they essentially took 1 for 80 after poison damage, and that was really strong at the time. Look at the HPs at this time. They weren't really that high. So Flareon in combination with this Ariados was actually quite the combo back in the day. And I think it's very worthy of our number 4 slot, wouldn't you say? So our number 3 slot, we have Flareon from Plasma Freeze, and there's no other way to describe this Flareon apart from hard hitting. With that Vengeance attack for a DCE, it did 20 plus 10 for each Pokemon in your discard pile. So what you essentially do is play a deck full of like 30 Pokemon, with Pokemon that you don't mind chucking into the bin, sort of like Unknown, or even Vesperchrome, which has the exact same attack, might I say. So you just dump them all into the discard pile and try and take some bang one shots on some 2 or maybe even 3 prizes with this little Flareon. With stuff like Choice Band, Muscle Band, all that Silver Bangle back in the day as well, you can start reaching numbers that a non-GX had no right to be hitting realistically. So this was a hard-hitting, scary deck, especially in combination with the other Eeveelutions which you could play to make this Flareon start hitting for all different types, and the ones that you didn't need, you could just chuck them in the bin. Now, I mentioned this Vesperchrome earlier because essentially what you would do is have 4/4 Flareon, 4/4 Vesp, pick one you want to use in the game and just dump the rest. Honestly, the deck flows absolutely insane. It still sees play in Expanded, and in Standard, it was a terror. Also, shout out to the Leafeon from Plasma 3 as well, because that also seen play in that deck, because I had that Energy Crush attack, which did 20 times all the energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon. This was mad. If your opponent ever got too crazy against stuff like Blastoise, for example, you could just slap Keldeos away, you could slap Seismitoads away, because it also resisted water as well. In my opinion, this is one of the best one energy attacks I've ever seen put it on a card, and put them both together, you have a gnarly deck. And that's why it's my number 3 pick, baby. Jeez. Coming in our number 2 slot, we have Sylveon GX. Now, this card was a very, very strong card back in the day. With that 1 energy attack side beam for 1 energy to 30 damage, and your opponent is confused. We saw confusion earlier with Flareon. Making your opponent have to flip to attack can come up in games, and trust me, a little 30 poke in combination with a Choice Band turned into a 60 poke, and that was super relevant. So that was your turn 1, because remember, you have the Energy Evolution Eevee at the time. So if you're going first, no, if it's your first turn going second, you can attack your Psychic Energy to Eevee, evolve up, bing, have a little chip damage. If you found your Choice Band, like I said, you're doing 60. That's pretty cool. So then, for your second turn, you would sling down a DCE and use Psychic, which did 60 plus 30 for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. This was pretty cool. Let's imagine we're playing against a Drampa, right? So we've hit them for 60 with a Side Beam. We then attach a Psychic. They have 3 energy attached. If we hit them, they are now KO. This is a perfect attack to use with this Espeon, but it doesn't even stop there, because you had Divide for the same attack cost as Psychic, so 1 Psychic double curlers. You could sprinkle 10 damage counters in any way you like. Perfect for dealing with sort of Eeveelution decks, or anything that Psychic and Side happen to miss, you can just sprinkle. This actually got piloted to some top 8 finishes in combination with Garbodor. You know, so you had the ability lock-in one, so you can imagine it was ability lock-in and confusing from as early as turn 2. That's pretty gnarly. And then you also had Trashalant to just slap late game, because if you think about it, if your opponent's confused, they have to play their switching card, and if they play their switching cards, Garbodor comes through and sends you to the Shadow Realm. So Espeon was a really good card back in the day, and that's why it's my number 2 pick, baby. Coming out of number 1 slot, we have one of those super rare instances where a card is super collectible and super playable. We have Jolteon Star from EX Power Keepers. This card was integral to Jason Kalinski's 2nd World Championship victory, as it was played in his Gardevoir Gallade deck. It was there for the mirror, funnily enough, because Gardevoir Gallade was one of the best decks back then, and the final actually turned out to be a mirror match. So what this Yellow Ray would do, when you bench him, you can put 1 damage counter on each of the active Pokemon. So this is how the interaction would work. Gardevoir did 60 damage. Weakness was only plus 30 back then. It wasn't times 2. So you would hit an opposing Gardevoir for 90 damage. If you use the Lake Boundary Stadium, you actually turn weakness to times 2. So that means it goes from plus 30 to plus 60. So now we're hitting for 120. Use the Yellow Ray. We actually one-shot the opposing Gardevoir in 1 hit. That's gnarly. It came up in the finals. It's super playable, super collectible, which not a lot of these cards on this list actually are. And that's why it's my number 1 pick there. But let me know what you think. Of course, leave it in the comments, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, as always, though, and I'll see you next time.